There's a few things we need to talk about, and I think one of the things is the amount of money that was taken. I see no evidence that we owed him $28. I don't think there was adequate bookkeeping to prove it. He should have taken $28. There's no evidence that that's there. Also, it was the amount of coins all at once. I mean, to take over like 100 coins, quarters to the bank, convert it into cash, and then put in his wallet. It's like there's an ethical thing there, and there's probably kind of an obvious nature of like you shouldn't take quarters from a machine, take it to the bank, and then take the money, and then I think there might be an issue there.
Well, it could be a very small amount of quarters, depending on how many quarters he deals with on a regular basis, and we obviously have no idea how many that is.
He admitted taking $28.
Right, I'm saying like in full, how many quarters he's normally around on a daily basis.
Right.
Obviously, we have no idea how many there are.
I mean, I think
so that could have been a very small fraction, or it could have been the whole thing. Obviously, we have no clue.
Like, I don't think we're really gonna agree or come to a full agreement on the actual, who's right and who's wrong in this. But I think from your side, you all have said that you all would like to. We both want to, get a training thing and get this work that out. You guys also say that there should be some sort of punishment for Jim, and then it should be, you're trying to prove a message to the rest of your employees.
Mm-hmm.
So we were thinking that a way to sort of work with both of our wants and needs here is for Jim to, instead of being, laid off or have like a disciplinary layoff where he's not working for you all, instead to have, if you all were to come up with like a new training system, like that test we were talking about, and a way to do that, it's like, start that with Jim, train him, make sure he's properly trained, and then after that, Jim will do, implement that training without compensation.
Mm-hmm.
So then that way he's training the employees for you all the proper way that you all have, this new way you all want. He's in front of everyone with no compensation. That's basically the same as a disciplinary layoff. But you also get him as a worker instead of losing him for 2 weeks, where you're just going to be scrambling to try and, figure out this policy again. He'll be helping you all. Everyone is going to see him in front of everyone. They're going to know he was in trouble. And then, from going on from there, then hopefully there won't even be any more problems. Everyone will have that, the contract or whatever they're going to sign. So next time this happens, you all will have first offense, this is what's going to happen. Second offense, this is what's going to happen. So it should just be the end of all the issues.
Be a lot more straightforward as far as the ramifications go and the guidelines go and stuff like that. Therefore, there is none of this gray area and everything's all broad, and you really.
And I think
it
it'll
go
be
either way.
a positive relationship with us, working in the future. It shows that the management is willing to work with the workers, which is a big problem with the labor right now. Is we feel like we're not being listened to. But to hear that you guys aren't just coming in again and saying we're going to punish you, you're saying we're going to help you. I mean, yes, he is being punished for whatever had happened, but it's not the same way, because obviously the way that it's been before is not working.
And he's also helping the company in the process as far as helping new employees learn the proper techniques.
And he's learning himself, and like maybe he isn't. He's been doing this for a really long time, which is great because he's loyal to the company. But at the same time, maybe he does need some. He's going to be really learning this, procedure.
And you're saying you want to use Jim as an example. What better way to use him as an example than to put him around all these new people and have him tell them what he did wrong and what he ran into, and all this had to happen because of it. Obviously, if you just don't steal the mere $28, which for a corporation is mere, don't steal that, and you won't have all these big issues.
And he's a worker, so I mean, maybe part of the problem was you all having managers or supervisors saying like, okay, do you know the policy? But they don't really know. But he he has done this. He's done this a long time, so he does have an understanding of how it works. So for him to train like the new people, it's like he could see when they're doing it, like, oh, well, that's not right, or they could have questions that maybe a manager or supervisor wouldn't be able to answer. But if you're kind of like training him and really putting all that faith in him, then he'd be able to help you all out a lot.
Okay.
And he's willing to work the training period without pay.
Yes.
Well, it obviously depend on the length of the training period. I mean,
yeah, it's not. It can't be like a second
do everything for the
full-time
rest of his
job.
life for free or anything like that.
Well, that's a little unrealistic. I don't think we would want it to be that long.
Well, here's the deal:
does it need to be?
is that I think we're forgetting what the issue is here, and that is theft. the bottom line is, and what I have to write to my report to my
Thanks.
superior is that money was stolen from this company, and we need to take appropriate action. We're willing to work with you on that, but as far as a single training period, we would actually be relaxing our standards for punishment from Hal, rather than even sticking with that.
Yeah, and we weren't saying a
I
single
can't do
training
that.
period. We were saying like the training period, as in like multiple. Like that would end up being like it wouldn't be just one night after work. Him saying that it would be hours. It would it would.
So like at least a few weeks for a couple to a few weeks for a training session, maybe.
I think it's really tough to compare Jim and Hal.
Mhm.
Hal was part of the machine part of the company for a month, and he stole for a month. Jim, obviously he's done all this stuff. He's a good guy. He's been around for the company for 19 years, and this is the first time we've ever ran into, or you guys have ever ran into any problems with him at all. To hold those two on the same standard seems a little questionable to me, looking at it.
I think that that's probably something we should look into as far as holding all of our employees to the same standard. I think that we get in trouble if we don't do that. I think that that's. I'm really trying to keep my company, like I said, ethically consistent. Make sure that we're not showing bias to older employees or bias towards newer employees. And I think that this is going to cause more issues than it solves as far as the image of the company from the employee's point of view. I need to make sure that people understand that this is a legitimate business, and that we do deal with theft the way theft should be dealt with, and it needs to be punished. Now, I understand that there might have been some miscommunication, but following all of the education that he's received, all of the experience, what's happened to Hal, we need to lay him off for a certain amount of time. I'm not willing to budge on that. As management, I have the right to do that. I don't think we're accountable to what Jim's arguments are. And the bottom line is that he is kind of, like, his motivations are still clouded. We have no idea whether he actually forgot. We have no clue. We can't prove that, and neither can you. We need to understand that. And that's why these standards exist, so I don't need to ask these questions. I don't need to actually have the facts here. I just need to deal with them as they come. So this is an issue of theft from my company on paper, and I need to deal with it as such.
And even if it wasn't, even if the intent wasn't theft, like you said, everybody makes mistakes, and even if the intent wasn't to steal, there are still repercussions for mistakes. And I don't think that doing the training period would be enough to demonstrate an example.
But it is a fascinating
for-
idea. I like that idea, and I'm willing to actually lower my bar for the layoff with that idea. I think that's a wonderful
We
idea.
could maybe do a shorter layoff with the training, with Jim teaching the training, that is. And I don't know.
We're super reluctant to having Hal and Jim's punishment being the same. That just doesn't seem like something we want to do.
Okay. Well, we're willing to do this, and this is about all we're willing to do is a 1.5 week layoff with the training period attached, as well as him being retrained and everything, and then he
Retested.
leads training classes. We would love to see him stay. We think that's a great deal. If it wasn't for his previous conduct just being exemplary, it would have been much worse. But we respect Jim, and we see that maybe whether this is an oversight or just a one-time moral compromise, we understand that he's a valuable employee to us, and we want to understand that some responsibility belongs to the management, but certainly not all of it. So we want to offer a 1.5 week layoff with a training package attached to that,
What's
where he
that?
teaches the.
How how long of a training?
Well, just a normal. He'll participate in training new employees for we'll say for this business quarter. So
4 months
yes.
or 3 months.
Right. So any new employees during their training process, he would come in for maybe 1 or 2 days to just show them, not full days. Now understand that his training would only be limited to discussing procedure with them.
And he doesn't get paid for this, right?
No payment for that.
For 3 months.
No.
No, I'm only talking about 2 hours every time that he's called in.
See, well, we're thinking more like, there needs to be training of all of the current employees because, we think
Now,
that
we'll
this is
handle
going to
that, yeah.
continue to be a problem. So that's what we were talking about Jim doing. Is it sort of being his project, like it being like a small term thing, instead of like being like over like the course of it hiring new people, him working with you all on getting this new procedure in and like, you know, retraining all of the people right now. So it would be like, you know, within like the course of, I mean, he would have to put in a lot of hours in the beginning, but rather than like, I mean, who knows how many people you're all going to hire in the next, you know, what's going to happen. That
Right.
could turn out being really unfair for Jim. And I mean, I think that like what we're saying is like, or you're saying, you know, he needs to have punishment because it's a theft issue, and that like you want to be like in good, you know, like want the employees to see you as like better, but like as employees, like, you know, I think that you all, you know, working with us and like working to improve the company would be, you'd be seen, you know,
How long
highly.
do you guys feel the training should last then for him training other people?
Does anybody want to chime in?
2
I
hours,
just feel
2
like
hours
if there
each
was,
and every, like,
if there was any layoff going on, he will be compensated for training because that was something that we offered in place of him being laid off. But then, since you're not able to work with us on the training period being non-compensated, that we should retract all of that. And if you wanted him to be laid off for a week, we would take the layoff instead of him not being compensated for training because we're trying to help management. We're trying to help the business. So with us offering training, that's us helping you all. That's us helping, like, the workers being helped. Like, we're working with you on that. But if you're coming back and trying to say he doesn't get compensated for training and he gets laid off, that's double the punishment on our end. Because we didn't agree to that.
Yeah,
If
we're having
how-
someone who
for
stole
how-
Right.
from the company
I wouldn't-
training other
Right,
people.
and-
I mean, what is that?
No.
Yes.
Because he's a leader. You said you looked up to
I
have.
know that.
Hey,
We-
hey,
we
hold
did
on,
the
whoa.
same thing.
Stop. Hey, this is not how this is gonna work. All right, one at a time, okay?
Oh, I'm finished. I'm just saying, like, we were offering the training without compensation. And if you don't feel as a team that that's okay, then we'll talk more disciplinary action. But
Okay.
If
we
we
felt like
wanna-
that
Well-
was helping the company. He's been here for 18 years. He's looked up to. Like, he has great reputation, great status.
Okay.
This is the first offense that's happened. And it was the day that he got
Wow.
trained.
Well, this is the package we're offering. He can be terminated if he doesn't want it, but it's a week plus the training period.
So we're going
Do
back
we
to
not just-
termination?
do we
We're
not
going back
just
to square one?
agree
Come
that- I know,
on.
that
but-
he's not going to get
Well,
terminated?
we talked about a longer layoff period, which
Right.
is something.
But this is the package we're offering you. We're not willing to let it go, so he can take it or leave it, basically. This is a very lenient thing. I mean, not being compensated for about 2 hours about once every couple weeks when we train a new employee.
But
I
But
think
it sounds nice saying that, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily going to turn out like that.
But
what do
wait,
you
but
mean?
wait, we could
I mean, we
set
could be doing that for 2 hours every day instead of 2 hours twice a week. I mean, it just
Instead of
it
Well,
depends
why
on
don't
how
we-
much training there
ins-
is.
Well, that's an interesting point. Why don't we
It's-
we'll set a limit on
that's
it.
what I was
We'll
gonna
agree
say.
on a-
well,
Instead
that would,
of,
yeah.
We'll agree on a limit. So how about
How about a certain amount of
he
hours?
could just
Yeah,
we could
not-
set
Yeah,
a goal
not-
for a
up-
certain
Definitely
amount
do
of
the
hours that he could train.
okay, up to what do you say?
The hours, the amount of non-compensation that would have equaled Hal's or been close to Hal's.
Yeah, so if we do a week, then he has a week of the training.
But
Yeah.
it
And
a
that's the
minimum
same.
of house.
And he's helping the business in turn with that.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay, but we don't want to overload him one week or another. We understand he's got a family. So
spread
why don't we
it out.
limit it week to week? I guess the most we'll have him do per week would be 4 to 5 hours. What do you say to that?
I mean, what do you guys? I don't think. It's
Oh,
I would say
I
I
don't
would
think-
say do you have the hours and you do it over a certain amount of time. No matter if it's you do it all in a week or you do it here, there, not.
So he can choose when it's
He can
convenient.
choose like
But we also want to implement this with all of our new employees. We
Yeah.
love that Jim's a valuable part of this new training process, and we want him to be. So I don't think we should just leave it up to him whenever it's convenient for him, because that would leave some gaps in our training.
But he
you
should
know?
I
work
think-
it out with management in his schedule.
And we'll be fair. with
Yeah, I
that,
think
you know,
we
the
should say
manager-
that because if we get too into the logistics, like if he works it out with management and they're comfortable with whatever he works with his manager and his work schedule.
Okay, that'll be worked with manager on site. Okay.
What was the hour number? I didn't catch it.
I don't remember. Is it like up to a week? So
The
The amount of
That equals his
compensation.
week of like a work week.
Right.
Like, that he would have.
So about as many hours as he would work, he'd be training, non-compensated, but stretched out over a long period of time.
Right.
so just to
Like 4 or
recap, we're
5 hours a
talking
week.
about 1 week of the layoff
Mhm.
and then say
A week's worth
35
of
to
training.
40 hours
Yeah.
of
non-paid training.
non-paid training.
Mhm.
Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Yes, and also if this training actually helps out a lot, we'd be willing after the period is over maybe to discuss actually paying him for those hours, maybe giving him a little extra cash there. But This is after he's
Like a
proved
bonus.
had a period of integrity, no issues, and all that stuff, and also really good bookkeeping from now on. We're going to hold him accountable to his books, just for our own records.
Right.
And you're going to hold accountable everything on your end, everything that's getting bumped up, and procedure as well.
Oh yes, sir. That goes along with our theme of consistency, that we will do exactly what we said, because that's the company we are.
You don't want to take a time out?
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
Take one more.